drive around New York City for about 30 years or so, but now it seems more than ever that this city is literally trying to piss off all the drivers. So not only do we pay one of the highest car insurance rates in the country, but with the recent congestion pricing being activated in New York City, to all these bus-only lanes, not even to mention the bike lanes, one thing is for sure, if you drive in New York City or even the outer boroughs, like Queens, Brooklyn, and etc., not only it will cost you extra headache, but unfortunately it will also cost you more money to drive in this area because of the changes that the city is implementing in the last 2 years. So let's talk about it. You see, some of these changes started some time ago, and yes, I'm talking about the time that Mayor Bloomberg was in the office, and I remember that time they were pushing for reducing the speed limit in the city, and of course anywhere around the city for that matter, so the entire 5 boroughs. So they finally reduced the speed on the local streets from 30 miles an hour to 25, of course for our, or should I say, pedestrian safety. Now, as you probably already know, the traffic in New York City or even around New York City was never really moving fast. So then what do you think that speed reduction did? Yes, you're right, it slowed down the traffic even more. Then, since I don't think this city is really car friendly, they started to put more bike lanes in the city, and as a part of also Mayor Bloomberg's plan, this city put thousands of these bikes you can rent. You know, I'm talking about the CITI Bikes that locals can rent and tourists too, which I think riding in this traffic as it is, I don't think it increases safety, but okay, fine, maybe that's just me. Next thing they did, because this city really cares about our safety, right? So starting from 2023 and especially now in 2024 and 2025, this city put ton of cameras all over the place, and of course these are speed cameras. I believe if you go 31 miles an hour or over, you're getting the ticket, plus there is also red light cameras. And since the city really cares about the public transportation, right, they making ton of these bus lanes only, and personally I think the biggest issue with these bus lanes is that, for example, you're approaching some big intersection and you're supposed to turn right. Now you legally can't even be in this bus lane to even make the turn. So if there is only 2 lanes of traffic going that one direction, now you have to block the drivers in the left lane, basically the drivers that were going straight originally, just to make that simple right turn. Because guess what? These city buses have right of way, so maybe it makes some sense for these buses, but for the rest of the driving community, it literally doesn't make sense because it actually makes more traffic congestion. Of course, if somehow you'll end up in this bus lane with your car, in a lot of these places there is camera on the pole nearby somewhere. So yes, even if you enter this bus lane for literally 3 seconds to make the turn, most likely you're getting a ticket. Now, of course, recently New York City wanted to do something nice for us again. So the New York City recently implemented the congestion pricing, right? And now just average passenger car has to pay $9 just to enter the city, or even drive in the city for that matter below 60th Street. And the MTA and also the city officials tell us that the traffic has reduced 7 to 10%, depending who you ask. And of course, I'm just talking the traffic congestion in lower Manhattan, because around that area traffic actually slightly increased. But I'm sure the city think this is win-win, right, for all of us. Never mind that they collected about $50 million from the stores in last 5 weeks, but I'm sure this was just some side effect, right? City would never do this for money. Now I wanna backtrack a little. Remember I was talking about the bus lanes, right? So not only you have the cameras on the street of these bus lanes, but they're also installing the cameras on the buses themselves. Of course, they want to make sure you follow the driving rules, right? But guess what? It gets even worse. So I just got this brand new type of ticket, which I never saw before, and I'm gonna show you right now on the screen. So now apparently the buses also catch you on the camera if you double park somewhere, even though that your double park car has literally nothing to do with the bus lanes, or even blocking the traffic for that matter. So yes, I double parked the car to get the food. Keep in mind, my wife was in the car was on the hazard lights, and keep in mind, this is a very wide street, so I definitely didn't block any traffic, everybody could pass me very easily. And you see, if the parking police would come, for example, then they would see my wife in the car, and sure, maybe they would tell her to move the car, but because it was auto capture on the camera of the bus, actually 2 separated buses passing by, I guess, then I got this automatic ticket. So now the buses system, with cooperation with New York City, of course, they are literally enforcing the parking rules and basically giving all the drivers tickets for any little silly infraction they can possibly find. I'm really starting to think that New York City hates its drivers, or at very least this city thinks that the driving community is their cash cow and that they could milk the drivers for money in the levels never seen before. Alright, you know what? Maybe that's just my opinion. Tell me what do you think in the comments down below. And make sure to check this video next. There is some good info in it too. And as always, thank you for watching.